John? We good? Okay. I apologize. I'd like that we were late. We did have an executive session meeting that started at 6:30. I am calling the meeting to order at 7:16 p.m. I'm assuming here. My clock is off on my computer. I apologize.
7:17.
7:17. Followed by that, I'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'd like to add that we did add an agenda item. It's a consideration for the letter of engagement for property taxes, and it's the last listed agenda item. Okay. Board, attached are the minutes of the executive session and regular session meetings held on August 21st, 2025. Your pleasure.
I'd like to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that the board approve the executive session and the regular session minutes of August 21, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the item? If not, board, please place your vote. Oh, I forgot to take Dave out. Take Chris. I forgot to take Dave out.
Oh, no worries. Go to meeting control panel.
There it is.
And then just update it.
Thank you.
And then you can click join again and it'll jump you straight.
There we go. My apologies. That vote passes 6-0. We have a board member absent this evening. Next item on the agenda is financial reports, which are none.
Lucky you two.
And the next item is comments on agenda items. If there's any comments on agenda items from the audience, which there are none. And the next item on our agenda is the personnel report. Dr. Buffington?
Board, in your packet, you have a copy of the personnel report, and I would ask that the board approve the personnel report as presented.
I'd like to make a motion that the board approve the personnel report as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second in regards to the personnel report. Is there any discussion? If not, please place your votes. And we have that passing 6-0. Thank you, board. Next on the agenda is the public hearing, the pre-formal bargaining public hearing of the School City of Hobart and the Hobart Teachers Association. Dr. Buffington?
Board, after July 1 and before formal bargaining begins, a public hearing is required to be conducted jointly by the school employer and the teacher's executive representation. The public is welcome to give testimony on subjects of bargaining as described by Indiana Code 20-29-6-1A. So, the employer can open the hearing, Madam President.
Okay. At this time, I would like to open the hearing for the pre-formal bargaining. And opening the floor for public testimony, which there is none.
There could be some from the
Unless there,
from here.
unless there are any from the board. Okay. And there is no teacher's representative at the moment, so I am going to close the public hearing.
Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome. Next item on the agenda is a resolution for the Technology Department Recognition Day. Dr. Buffington?
Well, before we turn it over to our secretary, parliamentarian, I just want to say a few words about our technology department. Mainly, we are super blessed to have Chris King and Russ Mellon that are the leadership there. You know, you have technology, data side of it, and information technology on the other side of it with our network. And, you know, it runs the world, does it not? And our technicians do a fine job. And, you know, when people, they get frustrated so easily, and they have patience with them, and they just do a fantastic job making sure that the technology runs great in the school corporation. I probably talk to Chris more than I do any other administrator. But that's how integral his job is to making everybody else's job seamless. The data side of things, the professional development, and just making sure that we have top-notch tools for everybody to use to be at their best. And so I'm really proud of the department. And I also want to thank the board for the support that they give us for the technology that we have in our district.
Thank you. Mr. Porras, would you read the resolution, please?
Yes, we have resolution number 2025-22, Technology Department Recognition Day. Read all that.
Thank you. And if you would roll call vote, please?
Yes, we have David Cosby, absent. Don Rogers.
Oh, wait, I need
Aye.
hold on a second. I need a motion and a second first.
And discussion.
I'd
My
like to make a
apologies.
motion that the board adopt resolution number 2025-22, recognizing our technology department.
Second.
Thank you. My apologies, board. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Well-deserved recognition.
Thank you, Mr. King, to you and your staff for.
They could get a standing ovation.
All
Well, no
right,
one
we
in the
can-
audience is sitting.
I know. Picture it.
Roll call.
Okay, so Mr. David Cosby is absent. Don Rogers,
Aye.
Brad Keane,
Aye.
Stuart Schultz.
Aye.
Frank Porras votes aye. Sandy Hillen,
Aye.
and Ricky Guthrie.
Aye. There we go. We passed 6-0. Thank you, board. Next item on the agenda is an overnight extended student trip for the Hobart High School World Language Student Trip to Spain and Portugal.
So board, if you will remember right, this was a proposed trip last spring. And then one of the sponsors decided to not do it. And then now we have a sponsor that's picked it back up, and it would be Guille Frite. And this is the exact same thing that you approved last spring. It's just a different sponsor. So you basically can see that she's looking for up to 35 students, looking at World Language 3 and 4 dual credit classes for the 26-27 school year. And they'll learn about culture, language, history in the countries they are visiting. She will have additional chaperones depending on how many kids sign up. And you can see the cost of the trip is $4,589. And they will also try to do some fundraising to lower that cost. As always, if the board considers this and approves it, should there be any international travel warnings or any other alerts, we would make sure that the company that they're working with would offer refunds or arrange the trip at another time, because the trip could be canceled with authorization by you to the superintendent. So board action is requested to approve this trip.
I'd like to make a motion that the board approve the extended trip request as presented, and the superintendent is authorized to cancel the trip at a later date if travel alerts or warnings and/or health alerts are issued by the U.S. government.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Ladies, did either of you go? All right, can we hear your little, just annotate or story or and just about your experience, just so we get a little bit of feedback?
So I am currently in Spanish 4. I've taken Spanish all 4 years, but it's definitely it's not every day you get to go to a different country with some of your best friends, and I was lucky enough to do so through Spanish 3 at the time. So we went to Spain. We also stopped at the Portugal airport, but we didn't leave the airport. So I guess we technically went to Portugal too, but it's super, super, super cool. I mean, it's just something, the foods you get to try, the people you get to meet. We got to meet not only students from Spain, but also other students from around the United States that were also on the trip with us. So we met some kids from like South Carolina and Illinois, which is pretty funny. The Illinois kids were actually from Chicago, so they're not too far from us. We had a great time. Definitely a great bonding experience too. Like before the trip, if you had asked me like, oh, like, you know, what do you think is gonna happen after this trip? I was like, oh, you know, we're just gonna go to Spain. But after leaving Spain, I realized it wasn't just the experiences that we left with, it was also like new friendships. It's definitely taking learning outside of the classroom and applying it. So I had a lot of fun. My Spanish wasn't that good, but I still had a lot of fun. So definitely hope it's something that we can continue to do in the future for language students. Definitely super cool.
Well, thank you. Board, if you could place your vote.
I'd like to say that I'm opposed to this, because I don't think the atmosphere with our present administration in Washington makes it totally safe for anybody to travel anywhere outside the probably not even safe inside the United States. And I understand the benefits to the students that are going, and I understand they had a great time the last time, but I personally do not think it's safe for our students to be traveling out of the country until things settle down. And I would hate to have something happen. So my feeling is a no. I mean, I'm just one vote, and I think a lot of people probably think it's a good idea. And I do too, I think it's a great idea. I just don't think the timing's right.
Mr. Rogers, would you place your vote electronically, please? Thank you. And thank you for explaining your no, too. We appreciate that. And we passed that 5-1. Thank you, Board. Next item on the agenda is a potential conflict of interest disclosure. Dr. Buffington?
Board, in your packet, you'll find a conflict of interest disclosure statement for Bradley Keene for the period of August 13th through December 31st, 2025. His wife is now currently employed as a recess supervisor at Joy Martin School. Ask that the board approve or accept that.
I'd like to make a motion that the board accept the disclosure statement and direct the superintendent file the document with the State Board of Accounts and the Lake County Clerk.
Second.
Do you want me to put that over, please?
Yes, please. We have a motion and a second on the table. Any discussion? Mrs. Hillen?
Yes, there was a small error on number 2. Title or position with governmental entity. It says president of boards of school trustees.
Oh, we can correct that. Thank you,
Okay.
Mrs. Hillen.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Hillen. With that correction being made, is there any other discussion? If not, board, please place your vote.
Would it be appropriate for me to abstain on this one?
I'll have to defer that to Attorney
Mr. Longer?
I don't think it matters whether you abstain on this motion, because it's just the board accepting the disclosure, you'd want to abstain on any vote that had a direct impact. For example, if a contract for her was before the board, you'd want to abstain from a vote on that. The real criteria is whether there's any material benefit to you from a decision on the issue, okay? And so that's why you'd abstain from a vote on any compensation for her, because it would, benefit the household. But the vote on this doesn't have a financial impact one way or another.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
And if I might add to that, if we all abstained from the conflict of interest disclosure, I don't think it would pass. Sorry. next item on the agenda is the consideration to ratify the actions of the superintendent for an underwriter and placement agent engagement letter.
Board, in your packet, you have a copy of the engagement letter from Stiefel. And Stiefel, as you would know, and for the audience purpose, is the school district's financial planner. They have been helping us look at circuit breaker relief, if you would. And I would just say, as we are going into a different time in education with Senate Enrolled Act 1 that has caused, in essence, a second circuit breaker, we have to engage with our financial planner to be able to look at the devastation that such legislation has caused for municipalities and school districts and libraries. And so that's what this letter of engagement is. They help us study impact. They help us study what our debt structure is, et cetera. And they're an important part of our fiscal responsibility in engaging with them. So I would ask that the board accept that recommendation and ratify the actions of the superintendent for engaging with our financial planner at looking at circuit breaker.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Buffington. Board, your pleasure.
I'd like to make a motion that the board ratify the action of the superintendent for the execution of an underwriter and placement agent engagement letter with Stiefel Nicholas and Company Incorporated on behalf of the school city of Hobart.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I might mention to the board that, years ago when I started representing the board, you didn't see these on the agenda. They've become more common in recent years because of more stringent rules by the Securities and Exchange Commission, and that's why you have multiple engagement letters required, because they're required to do that to meet their requirements with Securities and Exchange Commission.
Thank you, Mr. Lunger. Is there any other discussion? Board, if not, the voting block is available. Thank you, and that passes 6-0. Next item on our agenda is the recommendation to accept the School City of Hobart Educational Foundation grants. Dr. Buffington?
Well, board, as you know, Jonathan Moxalls, he is on the Hobart Educational Foundation. He is the chair of the grants committee. Dave Cospade and other folks serve, Mr. Longer, myself, we all serve on the Hobart Educational Foundation. And it is with great pleasure that we take a look at the grants that were sent to the school corporation. And so you can take a look at what they're for. Basically, you have our ELC wanting to start an esports club, and we find that to be super exciting. And then Carrie Kitzman, who is teaching PE at the high school, wants to start an archery adventure. And so you can see that those are the grants that the Hobart Educational Foundation is going to award for the total of $1,451.44. I would like to ask the board to accept those donations from HEF, and I want to thank the work of the Hobart Educational Foundation as Harvest Homecoming is coming up. I think it's October
13th, 12th.
12th. Thank you, Pat. 12th and 15th. I don't know why that was sticking to me, but Hobart on October 12th they will be having a new venue, which will be here at the high school. It's a brunch on a Sunday, and it's events like that that raise money to help us do little things like this for teachers that want to do extra with students. So with that being said, I would ask that the board accept those grants and donations from HEF, and I applaud their efforts.
Thank you. Board, your pleasure.
I'd like to make a motion that the board accept the grants and donations from the School City of Hobart Educational Foundation as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
I might mention to the board that the Education Foundation made a change in terms of when they will accept applications for grants. And so, where before you had deadlines and there were, opportunities each semester to submit grants, it's kind of a rolling process now, so that there's not a cutoff on when applications can be submitted. So you should not read into the number of applications here anything as far as an indication of what may be forthcoming in the future from the foundation.
Thank you, Mr. Lunger. And being a former member of HEF, I would like to say that that is a hard-working group of people with the children's and the school's interest at heart, and I appreciate all that they do. And that passes 6-0. Thank you, Board. Next item on our agenda is a consideration for the letter of engagement for property tax base, and that is the added agenda item. And Board, you have that information that should be in front of you.
So Board, you have a copy of Policy Analytics, which is a company that they are able to provide important tax-based information with our taxing units. And so this is another letter of engagement that helps us make better decisions about SEA 1, Senate Enrolled Act 1, and the future. So basically, we had entered into Policy Analytics, but this is a little more in depth. And for that reason, you have a letter of engagement, and this would be described in the terms that you have in front of you. I think that this is another important piece as our financial planner, Stiefel, works with Policy Analytics, and they are able to help us forecast out in terms of what our property tax base is, comparing that to what our debt is, what the circuit breaker is now indicating, what happens when AV drops, and your tax rate when your debt's paid off. And it just gives you a really complete picture forecast of what your financial liabilities, risks, and future holds. So it's an important piece to this puzzle with Senate Enrolled Act 1. I do believe that, prior to this, we've worked with them before, and they've been very beneficial. I think that they will give us the other piece to the puzzle as we're working on Senate Enrolled Act 1. Keep in mind, as we engage with these things, you will get reports from them, and they'll keep us updated on any changes or things that happen that could have impact on us and help us make better decisions. So I ask that the board approve this letter of engagement and authorize the superintendent or her designee to sign the letter of execution.
Thank you, Dr. Buffington.
I'd like to make a motion that the board approve the letter of engagement and service with Policy Analytics and authorize the superintendent or her designee to execute the letter of engagement.
Second.
Right.
Board, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
This is the same company that the city uses? Or
No,
do use a different one?
they use the other one. I forgot what it's called. Tilly. I can't remember the name of
Baker
it.
and Tilly.
Oh,
yeah.
Baker
Mhm.
Tilly.
Baker and
Okay.
Tilly, yeah.
All right.
Which I think they've been using them for a very long time. And we've used Policy Analytics in the past. They're very good. They do quite a few schools, Policy Analytics, so they kind of know our number game with education and operating fund.
Okay.
I think Baker Tilly also does work for the county.
Yeah. I know Baker Tilly is really picking up some schools, but at this point, if I've already had a vendor that we use and if they've been quite successful, we kind of stay with them.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, and that passes 6-0. Thank you, Board. Our next item agenda is a report for the Hobart Middle School SA 5 report. Dr. Buffington?
board, in your packet, you have a copy of an email from our treasurer, Tracy Brumley, regarding the SA5 report from the middle school. She discovered that their report, the report that you received at the last meeting, had an incorrect time period on it. And so she indicated that the attached documents are for the current correct fiscal year and corrected those dates. And so I wanted to give the board an update on that was noted and corrected.
Thank you, Dr. Buffington. Board, there is no action on that item. Next item on the agenda is updates, announcements, and reports. Dr. Buffington?
That's right. You have weekly agendas from all of our schools, and you have the Brick Center, which has all of exciting updates on our athletic programs. And you also have the save the date for the Hobart High School Homecoming Parade, which that's a lot of fun. We're getting ready to go into a really terrific season, especially with homecoming.
Thank you, Dr. Buffington. Next thing is the upcoming activities.
So this week we have a car wash supporting the Hobart Elementary Schools, and this would be for the hover project that they're doing. And so we would ask people to come out and support that. So all of our fifth graders are supporting in that this year. Hobart Bingo Night at the Moose for athletics. I know that Dave Cosspade puts a lot of effort into this, and our thoughts and prayers are with him as he's healing, but let's hope for a great showing, and it raises a lot of money for our athletic program. September 14th, HOSA. Grace is over there, and she's a part of HOSA, United for Mental Health Color Run at Hobart High School from 3 to 5. And on September 27th, we have the Lake County Self-Defense Human Trafficking Education Program at the Jubilee Worship Center. At our previous board meeting, we had a guest who had requested that we advertise that, and we have been. Very important information. We have October 6th, a free parent community workshop as High in Plain Sight, Tall Cop. He does an amazing job of presenting a series of drug education for parents and educators to protect our children. Again, October 12th is Harvest Homecoming. And our aquatic center is taking reservations for August through December, and that email address is up there.
Thank you, Dr. Buffington. Next item on the agenda is comments, and that would be you again.
There you go. Well, I can say that it's been a fun couple of weeks since the last time I saw you. I do want to say how exciting it was that our Johann's Army and our fans won for the fan base of the week. I think they should have won the week before, but I think they could win every week. I love the spirit that was shown there. I do want to say what I'm most proud about is that that you maintained composure when perhaps some so nice things were being done and said from the opposing team. And character is really what it's all about. You can have fun and you don't have to retaliate, and you can show people that you have a good time and have good spirit. And I think that's exactly what our fans did, and I'm super proud of them. And I can say that it has been very exciting being able to watch our kids play on Friday night, and the enthusiasm of the community coming back out to support them, like kind of the numbers that we used to see in the old days. With that being said, very excited about that. I can say that everyone is settling in, and we're back to just the regular time to do schoolwork, and it's not the beginning of the school year now. We're into routines, and we're really, it's been a great start to the school year. Want to thank every support that we have with our transportation, technology department, food service, and again, all of our administrators that helped prep to get the school year started with our administrative assistants. And then, of course, the most important aspect to all of this is our teachers. And so very proud to have our teachers and the work that they do. And I do have the best story from the Bricky podcast, the Bricky Experience, and Brian Howard. So you may not, maybe high school people didn't embrace it as much as the elementary people did. I hope you did. But I mean, the fact that he didn't give up and he didn't quit, right? There was a really great message, but I hope that people saw that the adults in his life didn't give up on him either, right? So if you didn't watch it, it was a really great episode. But now, like his basketball coach would say, be like Brian. And so now you have, at Joanne Martin, they're all using it, like, be like Brian, don't quit, right? And so the kids are all doing that. We try to send really good messages with the Bricky podcast show, the Bricky Experience. And so I do want to thank the guests that come on there, and I hope that people embrace the messages that we have for people, because they're true, genuine stories of Brickies. And so I thought I would share that with all of you. Other than that, that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Mr. King?
I appreciate the resolution recognizing Technology Day, and I appreciate all of you and your support as well. I know quite a few technology directors, and it's not always the case where they're at, and it makes doing the job a lot more difficult. And I think that working here with you all and our administration and our staff makes the job easy and a place where you want to be. And so I do appreciate you all for having that trust in us, the administrators, the technology department. So thank you for that, and I'll make sure to pass that on to the team. They have been working hard this year. As usual, lots of Chromebooks, lots of stuff going on, so it's been fun. I also just wanted to mention, I was happy to see on the grant awards from the esports at the ELC. They had contacted me originally asking me for some advice, and so I talked to her about it, and I had recommended HEF for a possible means of getting some money to get them started. So I was really glad to see, and it's not on here, but they're also trying to start up an esports club at Joan Martin Elementary too, the SRO, and one of the staff members there has been working on that. So it's pretty neat, and it's growing in the district, and the kids are excited about it, so it's very cool.
Thank you, Mr. King. Mr. Longer?
It's just, I guess, kind of neat that we're just into the start of the school year and we're already discussing student success. I'm optimistic about this year.
Me as well. And I will say, Mr. Longer has the best purple tie.
I did,
Yes,
yes,
he
he does. Yes, he does. Mr. Rogers?
I think we already mentioned it, but Saturday night is the athletic bingo. If you're like me, you will leave most of your money there to help.
Right?
I will come in my normal time and pay my money, and then wait until 9 o'clock and clean up, because it's a lot cheaper to just dump it all in one lump sum. Second thing, the pantry, big food drive, city food drive, is the 13th and the 20th, and all help is greatly appreciated. I'm going to check with Coach Osika and see if I can come in on a lunch hour and see if there's any students that are interested in signing up. If you're on the 13th, if you come to the pantry and get your assignment, which could be your neighborhood or a close neighborhood, it doesn't have to be done on the 13th, on that Saturday.
So is the 13th delivering the bags?
The bags go out on the 13th,
Okay.
but it doesn't have to be on that day. And all you do is go out and put the bag on the porch. They've already stapled all the signs on there. And then the following week is when we go out and pick up all the bags and sort all the bags and all the food. And right now the pantry is serving about 130 families.
Wow.
And I think we had 4 more sign up this morning.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
there's a definite need. They have some drivers. If anyone could be a driver or is willing to pick up, it's greatly appreciated. You don't have to stay the whole day. They have food, they have breakfast. You come in, get your assignment, and they assign you by neighborhoods. I have 2 neighborhoods because my twins just love to throw the bags. They're gonna cover the Thanksgiving neighborhood. But any help is greatly appreciated. If you could spread that around school, that would also be really helpful, because it is the one time that we get the majority of the food that we get.
Right, so,
We don't have to buy.
Coach, do you have a flyer that, that I could give, like the girls could put them out, I could send them out as well? Just with information on it? Like the
do.
dates, the times, if
I
you
don't
could.
have it, but I can get one.
Yeah, if you get one, I'll make sure, besides them talking about it, they can spread it through the clubs that they have, but I'll send it out to, I mean, even middle school clubs could do this as well.
I'm gonna try and get there to a lunch hour too over in the middle school. I'm gonna have Mike Black send it out to all the coaches, because coaches' teams are really helpful
Sure.
when they come out, so.
What about the ROTC, are they helping?
Our ROTC is always helping.
Yeah, they're a machine.
They're one of the best.
When they put the groceries away, you're done and the day is over. So they're good.
But the last time we did this, I think we had over 1,500 bags. And that's great, because that's all the food, but then all the food pantry workers, and there's probably 30 of us, we have to go through all those bags and sort them and put them up on shelves. So,
Okay, Coach Rogers, just to clarify, is that in September?
Huh?
What month is it in?
it's this month.
This month, okay. And
September.
What time is a good time to get there in the morning? What time is a good time to arrive?
9 o'clock in the morning is when they want you to be there and pick up your assignment. And again, the 13th, when you pass out the bags, do it anytime you want. Doesn't make any difference as long as it's done that week. And what you do is you just lay it on the porch.
All right,
They have
excellent.
7,000 bags,
Oh, wow.
so it's a pretty big operation. So the more people we get it, the quicker we can get it done.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Keen?
I just wanted to comment on the Be Like Brian. I did listen to the episode. I always listen to them on my car on the way to work, on the day they drop. To have the resolve to fail and go back, and then fail and then go back and not give up is something that I believe the work mentality really stands for. And it's just great to see that coming out. And I hope that a lot of kids look at that. And it's great to hear that it's into those younger kids, because it'll stay with them for the rest of their life.
Yeah, and I have to
it's
tell you, it
super
is.
important.
It's an impactful one, and that's why I chose it. You know, just talking to them about mentoring, but coming out of the gate with, here's a person that just wouldn't quit. He didn't give up on his dream. And I will just say there were some moments in that podcast that Chris King is always in the studio with me, helps sets up, and it was really revealing that, like, his coach didn't know that he didn't have a mom, you know, and
He had
so,
been
and
without one for a while.
then of course Brian Howard discovered that coach didn't have a dad, and so they had some things in common, and we can all relate to each other in some form or fashion and help each other in life. And so just the fact that coach wouldn't give up on him, and his dad obviously an important piece in his life, I think the humility that Brian showed was tremendous. How many people don't get to play the position that they want to play and they quit?
Mm-hmm.
And they just don't have the humility to stay with it. He played with freshmen and resolved to play with sophomores, with the junior varsity. He's a great example of, if you really want it, you work for it and you don't quit, right? And that's exactly what you just said, work,
That's
right?
it. Yeah, because success is never guaranteed in life, but failure is.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to fail in life, and having the ability to pick yourself up and keep going and try again is going to be the determining factor in whether or not you ever have success. So to see it in the kids coming out of here is great, and to hear the kids, especially the younger kids, getting into it, makes me feel really good about that. So.
Yeah, I was told that they didn't let them watch the whole podcast, so they didn't know at first. They didn't know if he made varsity. So they were like, did he make it? So they held it back, and I guess it was a lot of fun for them. But yeah, they're using the slogan, Be Like Brian now. So I really like that.
So So I just want to say I thought that was really cool. And then for our IT professionals, I mean, this day and age, you guys are necessary as ever as anyone. So thank you for what you do. Everything always seems to work seamless for myself and my kids who are students, and everything works great for that, and keeping track of all their information. So you're doing stellar.
They are.
That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Schultz?
I agree with what Brad said, so I'm not gonna repeat it all.
All right, thank you. Shujing?
All right. I'll try to keep this short, but I have a lot of exciting news. Especially on the student side right now, extracurriculars and clubs meetings are in full swing, which is very exciting. I can't tell you how many call-out meetings have been just in these past 2 weeks. All have been super engaging and informative. I know especially for us on like the student council side, like Dr. Buffington mentioned earlier, homecoming is coming up for us, which is like one of our biggest things all year. The parade, we're very busy planning that, making sure, you know, we're getting people involved and that we have floats lined up. But also, because our theme is Enchanted Forest this year, we're working really hard to make sure that our decorations look really good. That's usually, we have a very big decorations committee this year. A lot of them are underclassmen who are really excited to be involved. So I'm really excited to see the outcome. I have very high hopes for our homecoming, as usual. And outside of that, this is also our first year for student council doing freshman elections before homecoming. Normally it's something that comes after. So we're just really trying to hit the year starting strong so that, you know, everyone has a position and we know what we should be doing, things like that. And so far it's been going really well. So we're busily working behind the scenes. And then also with the Hobart Food Pantry, I will actually be there September 20th with Hobart Key Club. Unfortunately, I can't be there the 13th because I'm taking the SAT that day. I'd much rather be helping the food pantry than taking the SAT.
I bet.
But I will be there the
We'll give
20th.
you an excused absence.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
1400.
And a 14. Thank you. I would appreciate it.
Oh, hey, I do have to just say too, really quickly, to both of our student board reps, I officially have 31 people signed up to be mentors. Yep. And so these two are going to help me start our mentorship program here, upperclassmen mentoring freshmen. We have it all planned out, and it's going to be really great. And I did order your shirts, so we're all good with that. And we'll talk more about the incentives that you proposed to me because I think we can meet them all. And I think that we're going to make a difference for the freshmen here that need some direction. So thank you for helping me get the word out, and we have the number.
Yes.
And I had to change the date. I was meeting with you on September 17th, but I do want to tell you the date that I am going to be meeting with you, with Mrs. Mathis and Mr. Zolads. I do believe it is September 18th. I will be meeting with all of you, and you will learn about your assignment, and there will be a leadership position, a leadership PD training on that day as well.
All right. Very exciting. I will be there. I will bring the energy too.
Awesome. Yes, I'm counting on it.
I would like to say that mentioning about Brian, I do know him personally because he is my boyfriend's best friend. And so seeing his story be told and like the little kids actually taking that, like I think I'm going to tell him after this meeting about it because I think it'll help him through his like college struggles. But it's really great to hear like that his story is getting out and that they really like are using that as fuel to like start their own stories.
Yeah, please do share it with Brian. I haven't heard any comments from Brian seeing the podcast yet because he went away to school.
I'll see if he has any comments.
Okay, you know that he will.
Yeah.
But the Be Like Brian thing, I can't really wait to hear what he says about that.
I'll let you know.
Mr. Porras?
Yes, I would also like to congratulate the technology department for a great start to the school year and recognition for doing a job well done. Keeping everything running correctly, and when something does break or is not working well, you and your staff do an excellent job of fixing the problem. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Mrs. Hillen?
Chris, again, I have to echo what they're saying. You're quite a spectacular leader. And you are, obviously, you and your whole team are lifelong learners because technology is ever changing. Sometimes I feel like I'm, just staying above the water with it, so it's encouraging to see that, you have led Hobart in this journey. You are, you're a path maker for others. You've taken on things like a pioneer would, the esports. Look at that. I mean, we're talking about kindergartners now. So thank you for the path, the trail you're blazing for others. It's really appreciated. And girls, I really love the input that you're giving to our meetings. I think it's really insightful to hear what's going on through your lens. So thank you for your comments. That's all.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Ladies, thank you for sharing. Thank you for the updates. Grace, your event on the 14th, is there a cost to that
Yes.
color run? And do you pay in advance or do you pay when you get there? How does that work?
You pay in advance, it's through Event Link, so if you go onto the athletic page through like the School Safety Hobart website, you
Mhm.
can find the sign up there. It's $20 for an adult.
Okay, thank you for that. And to those on my left, it does certainly feel like we're kind of now past the jitters and past the nervousness and right back into the swing of things. It feels like the last school year just like ended, and here we are again.
It was a fast summer,
It
that's
was,
for sure.
it was. And Mr. King, thank you so much for your leadership. As people say, it's not just, we lead by example, and your example is exemplary. Oh, okay, that really did not come out the way I wanted it to, but hey, it'll work, it'll work. You're an example of a leader that just doesn't stop. Like Sandy said, technology's ever changing, and we have to embrace it to move forward and to keep relevant. And thanks to you, we are able to do that.
Mhm.
So we appreciate
And I
you.
am proud to say that he was my intern as a 16, 17-year-old, and look where he is today.
We appreciate you.
Best
and your team.
intern ever.
All right, and with that, I'd like to adjourn the meeting.